Right, hey guys, it's Weston here. So today I'm going to be reviewing the AKG Y20 earphones. So let's not waste any time and jump straight into the review. Right guys, but before we start the review, let's quickly talk what you actually get in the box. So with the earphones you get an included set of 3 silicone tips. So you get your regular small, medium and large. You also get a carry pouch as well. Something I really wasn't expecting considering the low cost of these earphones, but it does make for a very nice addition. So now let's jump into the design, and actually they quite unusually designed these earphones. So you can see looking down at the top of the earphones, they're an L shape, but it's a really weird shape, and I've actually never come across earphones that look like this before. So you can see on one of the sides we've got the AKG Y20 branding on it, finished off in grey. It's quite difficult to see, but I suppose it's really nice if you don't like in-your-face branding. Moving around onto the back, and we've got the little Y emblem. On the inside we've got your right and left indicators, again finished off in grey and quite difficult to see. Moving down onto the cable, we've got a little bit of strain relief, not the best I've seen, but it is there. Moving down a little bit more, and we've actually got a little slider to actually manage the cables. And then moving right down to the bottom, we've got an L-shaped 3.5mm jack. So this is gold plated and again has the AKG branding on it. Moving quickly on to build quality, and they're actually pretty respectable for the money. I mean, the Renault plastic construction, which is not that surprising considering the cost of the earphones, but it's actually a pretty generous plastic. It's not really cheap and flimsy feeling, and it actually feels pretty nice. Then again, we move on to the cable, and it's got a nice soft touch finish to it. Again, not the highest quality, but not poor quality either. Moving down onto the 3.5mm jack, and we've actually got a generous amount of strain relief on here, and again it's just generally well put together for such a cheap set of earphones, so no issues with build quality whatsoever. Now we get on to comfort, and I actually found these a little bit difficult to get on with at first. Now the included silicone tips are actually really nice, they're really soft and just pretty good all-round ear tips. It's just the actual shape of the earphones that I found took some getting used to. And because they're so unique and really oddly shaped, I found that they didn't really sit in my ears at first. And it took me a couple of days to actually get used to how these sat in my ears. But after about a week or so, I did find myself getting used to them. And they actually did turn out to be quite comfortable once I got them in the right position. Now we get on to noise isolation and leak, and they're actually really good. Now, because of the shape, they actually do fit in your ears really well and create a very good seal, and they do block out quite a lot of background noise. Now, as with all other audio products like this, I test them on the bus to make sure how much background noise they actually block out, and they do a great job of just blocking out like conversations and engine noise and traffic noise as well. Then we get onto leak, and again, because they seal really well, and because they actually fill quite a lot of your ear in, they don't leak that much either. Right, so now we get onto my favourite part of these reviews, and that is the sound quality. And the sound from these little earphones is actually very, very impressive. So we'll start with bass first, and it's actually pretty good. It's fairly deep, not the deepest I've ever heard, and it's got a little bit of a kick to it as well. Nothing too spectacular, but it's just got enough to keep things interesting. It's fairly detailed, and it's never overpowering or muddy sounding, and it never creeps into other areas of the sound, which just makes it pretty nice. Mid-range next, and again, it's fairly impressive. Not the most detailed I've ever heard, but then again, they're really affordable earphones. The mid-range is also fairly neutral sounding as well, so it's neither too warm nor too cool. And it's just a really nice, well-rounded mid-range. Vocal performance is actually really impressive with these. It's really expressive, it's really quite forward in the sound as well. But again, it's never distracting or too potent. Then we get on to the high frequencies, and they can be a little bit vague at times, but when they do come through, there's a little bit of brashness to them, and that's probably my only criticism of the sound for these earphones. So overall for the sound, I'm actually really impressed with what AKG has managed to do for such an inexpensive set of earphones, and I'm just generally pleased with how good they sound. I don't think they're the best sounding earphones I've heard at this price range, but they're up there with the best. Right guys, so I guess it's about time to wrap up this review. So what do I think of the AKGs? Well, the design, like I said, is a little bit unusual at first, but you actually get used to it after a while. They're really plain, they're really sort of minimal looking, and if you don't want some earphones that are going to draw too much attention, then these are definitely worth considering. Comfort wise, they take some getting used to, so if you do get a pair of these, give them a week or so, because they do take time to actually get adjusted to how they fit in your ears properly. So what do we think of these earphones? Well, for under £20, around £20 for this version, and a little bit more for the version with the microphone, they are actually a very impressive set of earphones, and they're right up there with the best at this price. Right guys, so that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the very next video.